from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Bella Pitts.
And I'm Harmon Johnson. Our top story tonight, an 80-minute crime spree rocked Lincoln just 2 days ago, leaving one man dead, several injured, and one in custody. The Lincoln Police Department says the spree began on Sunday around 11:50 a.m. when 41-year-old Timothy Washington reportedly shot and killed 34-year-old Phil Moon Cuckoo on 13th and E Streets. Washington fled, was pursued by police, then around 12:35 p.m. crashed into an SUV carrying 5 passengers, 3 of them children.
The crash took place at the intersection of the 27th and Y Streets. Following the crash, Washington ran down Y Street, stabbed a man outside of his apartment, then stole the SUV he crashed into, first allowing the passengers to grab the infant still in its car seat. Around 12:46 p.m., Washington hit a pedestrian at 49th Street and Madison Avenue, then drove onto a nearby lawn in an attempt to hit the pedestrian again and hit 2 more vehicles. Washington fled and stole another SUV from the Casey's gas station on Layton Avenue and North Cotner Boulevard at 12:58 p.m.
Authorities proceeded to follow Washington west as he ran into 3 more vehicles. Finally, at 1:10 p.m., Washington crashed into a tree at 8th and Benton Streets, where he attempted to flee on foot but was quickly apprehended. LPD says Washington remains in custody as the investigation continues.
A Nebraska state trooper was killed between Ashland and Greenwood while responding to crash on I-80 yesterday.
Kyle McCasey had a way of creating smiles in conversations with friends, with family, and even with complete strangers.
A snowplow struck trooper Kyle McCasey and he died on the scene. Both lanes of I-80 were shut down for a while. The Sarpy County Sheriff's Office is investigating the crash, while the NSP mourns the loss of the 31-year-old trooper, who had served for 10 years.
Crews from Lincoln Fire and Rescue responded to a large house fire this morning near 25th and L Streets. Firefighters arrived to the scene just after 7 a.m. The house was fully in flames and the fire spread to 2 homes on both sides. LFR spokesperson MJ Learman says extra units had to be called in to assist with water supplies. The weather conditions also affected the crew. Firefighters controlled the neighboring fires before working on the center home. No one was injured and people made it out of the homes safely. Turning to weather now, as it was another frigid day with temperatures sitting in the negatives, -1 outside right now. The wind will factor into the chill as we'll see real field temperatures in the negative teens and even close to the negative 20s tonight. A reminder that a residential ban is currently in effect for Lincoln as crews work to plow the streets. Looking at our weather advisories, 2 winter weather outlooks are in effect. A cold weather advisory will expire tomorrow at noon, while an extreme cold warning will take effect tomorrow morning and expire on Thursday. These advisories are warning against wind chills of nearly -22. Looking at the week ahead, still going to be very cold until we get to the weekend, but never fear, the sun will soon return as we're currently looking at temperatures climbing above freezing on Saturday before finally reaching back into the 50s by the start of the next work week.
If you're looking for layers to better face the frigid temperatures, Nebraska Nightly's Kylie Disbrow found this local boutique for this week's Small Business Spotlight.
555 Boutique is a small business located in Northwest Lincoln at Fallbrook Boulevard. Along with various clothing and jewelry products at 555, owner Melanie Rizak operates Creative Collabs, which offers many other services that serve the community.
I also started and own Creative Collabs. Creative Collabs is a small business collective on 16th and Old Cheney. So there's a storefront where you can shop over 18 local small businesses at one time. But the store is unstaffed, so you can shop 24/7.
Rizak has committed to small business ownership as a way to avoid a boring desk job and remain involved in her kids' activities.
And it was just really hard for me to sit behind a desk from 8 to 5, especially with my kids growing up and being so involved in different activities. I was missing a lot of things. And so I wanted to be my own boss and set my own schedule and just have more of that freedom to be able to be involved in their field trips or sporting outings that happen, during the day.
While most boutiques are similar, what sets 555 apart is their commitment to providing something for all ages.
I think that's the number one compliment we get about our boutique is that a daughter, a mom, and a grandma can all come in here and all find something. And I think that's what makes us so special is because they can come in with like a family like Girls' Day and do some shopping.
The boutique is open 10 to 6 during the weekdays and 10 to 4 Saturdays and Sundays. To keep up with Rizak and her small businesses, follow the boutique on Instagram at 555 Boutique and Spa. Reporting from Lincoln, I'm Kylie Disbrow, Nebraska Nightly.
The Slice office is offering UNL students an alternative service break option. The trip to Kansas City that they're providing will be 4 days long and over spring break.
So one big reason is opportunity to give back. So one, being able to give back to the Kansas City area, getting to learn about the homelessness rates in that area and just helping out with some of those nonprofits there.
The sign up for the trip will be due February 27th.
The University of Nebraska's President Jeffrey Gold plans to fight to keep funding. UNL and its sister campuses face a possible $27 million loss in annual funding. The policy issued by the National Institutes of Health would limit reimbursement rates by 15%. This is happening because of the cutbacks by the new White House. The policy is on hold due to the nationwide restraining order. A ruling is expected later this week. Besides cutting grant funding, the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency is reducing the federal workforce. Terminations were issued for the USDA, CDC, NIH, and various other branches. Gold says if an employee's work is impacted by these federal policies, notify your campus office of sponsored programs. Gold will be testifying in person before the Nebraska Legislature's Appropriations Committee next week, supporting a 3.5% annual increase of funding as part of the university's biennial budget request.
And finally, Saturday morning, Nebraska Athletics and the family of Greg Sharp announced that the legendary voice of the Huskers has passed away following a nearly year-long fight against pancreatic cancer. Sharp, who handled the play-by-play duties for Nebraska football and baseball, fought a very public battle with the disease, but continued to be a smiling face and a positive influence. Greg served as the inspiration and role model for many broadcasters like myself. His kindness and willingness to speak to and mentor young broadcasters truly made him one of a kind. He will be sorely missed at Hawks Field and Memorial Stadium, as well as across Husker Nation. My personal thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Sharp family during this very difficult time. Rest in peace, Greg Sharp.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about...
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Bridger Cruz. Nebraska softball got off to a hot start this weekend at the Troy Cox Classic in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and they never looked back. Going on a 5-game win streak, the team was firing on all cylinders, and Jordy Ball is being honored for her performance last week as the National Softball Player of the Week. After throwing a no-hitter, recording 13 strikeouts, hitting 4 home runs and 9 RBIs, the Nebraska baseball team kicked off their season in the desert. The 24th ranked Husker baseball squad opened up the season with a loss to UC Irvine on Friday, but quickly bounced back by securing a 6-4 victory over 16th ranked Vanderbilt. After that, the winning continued on Sunday when Nebraska beat San Diego State 13-0. They ended the week taking a loss to GCU in Phoenix. And Nebraska basketball found themselves in a tough situation, down by 20 points with 19 minutes and 15 seconds left in regulation, but everything changed after that. Nebraska slowly started to work their way towards a comeback, and with 11:47 to go, the lead was cut to 8 points. Then, with 6:05 left in the second half, Juwan Gary tied it up with a mid-range jumper. Nebraska would go on to win the game by 4 points after overcoming a 20-point deficit. This win on the road resulted in a quad 1 win and is a big stepping stone toward Nebraska making it to the big dance. Fred Hoiberg had a lot to say in his press conference, but an incident in the locker room with a whiteboard may have been the catalyst this team needed to make the comeback. Guys, 20-point comeback win, those aren't easy to do. What an exciting game.
Absolutely, and it was so exciting to be able to watch them come back by 20. It was so great.
And not only the basketball team, as we saw, softball and baseball having huge weekends.
Yeah, Bridger, you know I'm ready for softball and baseball season right now. The weather needs to move out, but yeah. I'm so ready to be back at Hawks Field at Haymarket Park and Bowlin Stadium. Bridger, thank you. The Nebraska Broadcasters Association announced their 2025 Hall of Fame class yesterday. One special person to Nebraska Nightly was among those inducted into the Hall.
Nebraska Nightly's professional in residence, Mike McKnight, will be one of the newest inductees to the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame. McKnight has been sharing his 48 years of reporting expertise with Nebraska Nightly students for the last several semesters.
The experience labs here at the College of Journalism and Mass Communications would not be possible without the professional guidance from PIRs. The PIR for KRNU, Dale Johnson, will also be inducted into the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame as well. Congratulations, Mike and Dale, from your Nebraska Nightly family. And I know me personally, Mike McKnight has played a huge role in what I've been able to do so far with Nebraska Nightly. He's been a great mentor for me, and we're very lucky to have him, as well as all our other PIRs.
We are all so appreciative of both of them, really. To have them in our family is just amazing. And to be able to learn so much from them, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I love talking with them. I love being able to connect with them. And they've given us some pretty good advice over the years. I know we've had some ups and downs, but they've really helped us get through all that.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in to Nebraska Nightly.
Stay safe and stay warm. We'll see you on Friday.
Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.